Hey there, it's Heather, your stay-at-home savings supermom. I'm here making life work on one income without sacrificing the fun. From budgeting wins to grocery hauls, plus some bonus content once in a while, I've got you covered. Let's hop right in. Welcome back. I am going to be impersonating my bestie, Miranda, because I forgot to light my candle before I started filming. This is a candle I just got, so I haven't burnt it yet. But it's from a small business. I've had it back when I went to a craft fair for my birthday last month. There was a candle vendor, and this is in the scent Stormy Seas, and it has oak moss and citrus in it, and it smells like, well, for me personally, it smells like as if my husband just walked out of the shower. Like, it smells like manly body soap or cologne or manly deodorant. It smells so good. I don't know about you, but if you like masculine scents, let me know in the comments. Actually, let me know in general. Do you like, well, let me rephrase that. What type of candle scent do you like the most? Mine are more masculine scents and tropical. So I love, this one is pear, pineapple, and musk. It's called Island Glow. It smells like I'm laying on the beach. Or I love fruit, fruity stuff. I usually burn a mango one, which is from the same company. I love, at Bath and Body Works, I love the champagne toast. I love anything vanilla, like vanilla bean or like a warm vanilla. Yeah. Coconut is my all-time favorite. Oh my gosh, I could probably just stuff coconut up my nose, the scent, and just sniff it all day. But how are you? How is your day going? It's Friday. Well, by the time I edit and upload this, it's probably Friday evening. I am in a much, much, much better mood. This morning I posted a video. It was kind of on the more downer side. I tried to hide it, but I've always been the type of person that you can tell how I'm feeling in my voice. I always wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm always transparent with my feelings and my emotions. I've always been in tune with my feelings and emotions. And I was not okay this morning. Well, technically it was last night, but I am in a much, much, much better place. And if you did not watch that video, I basically had to unstuff a lot of my binders. I had to put a pause on a lot of different stuffings. I'm no longer going to be doing my month ahead. I'm no longer going to be doing my emergency fund. I'm no longer going to be doing my debt binder. And then I had to significantly cut my Christmas stuffing and my Sunday fun day. All of that because I got my dream car. So my ultimate dream car was always a Grand Highlander, but it was never going to be in our budget. And that's only because the one that I loved, I'd have to lease. And our lease on our Tacoma is coming up in July. And long story short, we had a vehicle that was basically placed in our hands, and it was the type of opportunity that you cannot pass up because it was within our budget. And when I say budget, I mean I had to cut all of those things, but we're not going into debt paying for it. You know what I mean? And that's because I hadn't been paying for a car payment. We essentially paid off our lease, meaning I had saved up enough money to put the remaining that we owed, which at the time was a little under $2,000. I put that into our bank, and every single month it automatically withdrawed, and I didn't have to budget it because it was already sitting there. So we currently owe less than $700 on our Tacoma, which is our current lease. And obviously that money is already sitting in the account. And so we were given the opportunity. My husband and I have been talking with his coworker, who's the sales manager, and he has been looking for a vehicle for us for the last couple of months. And yesterday morning, right as soon as my husband got into work, he got pulled into his coworker's office and said, "Hey, I was just delivered 2 of these vehicles, and one of them is exactly what you and your wife and your family needs. The only thing is the payment is extremely high." And after finagling, he was able to get it down quite significantly, like about $75, which that was the gap that we needed in order for us to be able to afford it a month. And so my husband brought it home so that I can look at it, because I am not able to go to his work to test drive it. So he was able to get the approval to bring it home, and he test drove it for me. I wasn't able to drive it around because he wasn't on the clock when I was in the vehicle. So just for insured purposes, I wasn't allowed to drive it until it's in my name. But it is a Hyundai Palisade calligraphy, and it is only a year old. They actually just purchased it from Enterprise. So it used to be a car rental through Enterprise, and it's only a year old. It's still certified and under warranty, and because of it being under an X amount of miles, and there's 0 damage to it. It's in immaculate shape, and the only thing that my husband said is that it smelled like cigarettes because whoever had rented it from Enterprise last smoked in the car, and he wasn't sure how long they had rented it, but it was pretty significant. And so they when they received the vehicle, they automatically put new brakes on the front and back brakes, so all new brake replacement, and then they changed the oil and did a full tire rotation and balance, and the tires are also basically as new as you can get. It's been driven under 10,000 miles with those wheels or those tires, and there was no damage to the car inside or outside. And so they took it and got it detailed and inspected, and it is completely ready for us. And so you're seeing this Friday evening, and so on Monday it is going to be ours. And so the reason why I was so kind of distraught in that video this morning is just because we had less than 48 hours to make this decision. And that's because if we decided to pass on it, he already had other people lined up that have been interested in looking for a new vehicle, and he was going to call them after. And the only reason why we got the first dibs is because he had been looking for us for the new vehicle for months, and because my husband is in management, they have a really close relationship, and he was able to get first dibs. So it's my vehicle. It's going to be my vehicle. We're going to be owning it, so there's not going to be a lease. And so I'm really excited. It's a 7-seater and it has all the bells and whistles. It's absolutely beautiful, and I will include some photos. And yeah, so I'm just super happy. That's why it was also very important that I found a vehicle that wasn't a lease, because again, like if you watched this morning's video, we went almost 3,000 miles over our limit for the lease, and so this was just like a really big benefit for us to owning a vehicle. So we are going to now hop into this week. We did get the bonus check, and so we are going to be working with my husband's paycheck for $1,030, and also the bonus check for $1,800, and that means that we are working with $2,830 total. And so the reason why I'm okay with getting rid of my emergency fund is because every single week we automatically put an X amount of money into our savings account. Like old school savings, we take it straight from his paycheck and put it right into the savings, into our high yield savings as our general savings. And that number I don't share with you guys, but I budget with the remaining money. So the $1,030 is not his entire paycheck. He gets paid more, but I try to leave some type of privacy for my husband because he allows me to do this, and it's a public platform, and so I try to compromise with him a little bit and allow some privacy. And, so with the respect of not knowing how much he gets paid, especially with being in management, we just work with what I budget after we pull money out of his paycheck beforehand. So that's what the 1,030 is from. And if you are a returning subscriber, you should already know that, but I like to just every once in a while refresh memories, just because I don't want people to think, like, especially now that I'm not even going to be putting extra money aside for our emergency fund or our month ahead or what have you. I don't want people to think that we're not saving whatsoever, because we are. It's just not going to be as bulky as it used to be, and that's okay. And this isn't going to be a permanent thing. If he ever gets a raise, or if I, once I start getting monetized with YouTube, or I start making more money with Etsy, then I'm definitely going to start contributing. But as of right now, this is just what we're going to be doing. So let's see. So for groceries, we're going to be doing $140. This was one of the categories that ended up getting changed. I just took $10 away each week, and that's because we typically don't really ever reach 150. And so why keep budgeting something when I can put that towards our car payment? Mortgage is going to be getting $1,245. Gas and electric is going to be getting $70. Phone and Wi-Fi is getting $85. And our loan is getting $175. And some of these numbers might be off by the end of the month. We might have a little bit extra, and that's okay. Whatever extra we have outside of what my bills end up being, I'm going to take all of that money and extra, and I'm going to turn it into a bills buffer, because I do want to have a bills buffer. I know a lot of people do have a bills buffer, and I think that's actually a fantastic idea. I've never had a bills buffer besides the buffer that we have in our checking account, and I don't want to have to rely on that if anything were to ever happen. So I'm going to start doing a bills buffer in my actual cash bills binder. And then subscriptions is another thing that is going to be getting hugely changed. So I'm putting $45 in it this week. We were able to cancel a few different subscriptions that weren't really necessary. Like, we were subscribed to Peacock TV, and I only watched one show on it, and it was Love Island and USA. And they now stream that on Netflix, and we have Netflix as well. And so I just canceled Peacock because there's nothing else that I really watch on there. And then for Netflix, we used to pay for the ad-free version for $17.99 a month, and I ended up switching down to the basic for $7.99 a month, and now we have ads. Ads is not a big deal. My kids, they're not commercial babies, but they have ads on like Disney Plus and stuff like that. So that doesn't bother them. It doesn't bother us for sure. That's, that's when you have to run to the bathroom. That's when you have to get your snacks. And so we were okay with that. So that saved an extra $10 right there. And then we used to have Hulu and Disney Plus. And I don't know if, anybody else is aware. I'm sure you are if you have one or the other, but they decided to combine recently within the last few months, and so we decided to do the bundle, and we're doing the bundle with the ads. And so we were paying originally $9.99 for each subscription, and when you do the bundle with the ads, you are going to be paying for both of them essentially for $10.99 a month. So you're saving yourself $8.99. So that's what we decided to do in order to cut back on subscriptions and put that extra money towards our car payment. Water, we're going to be doing our usual $10 a week. That did not change. And then nothing changed with the medical because that is our insurance, and that's getting $135. The only thing that really changed budget-wise was just how much money I'm putting towards an envelope each week. So that's the only thing that changed. So the new car payment for this week, we're going to be doing $295. The only thing that is different with this, I know a lot of people, there's probably going to be opinions on it, but that's the benefit about this being my budget and my life. But what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. So what I plan on doing is I plan on using some savings challenges to offset the remaining amount of car payment that I need in order to pay the full amount. And that's only because I didn't want to take away from my Sunday fun day. Because if I had to take that away, then I would only be playing with like maybe $50. And I already had compromised and taken away $20 a week. And so I didn't want to continue taking away from that, just because I do want to still continue to, live life with enjoying different things. And so I want to be able to save for, other sinking funds and whatnot. So I have a couple of savings challenges that I'm going to be using. And when we get into that on Sunday Fun Day, I will explain that further. But for now, we are going to just add this up and see what we are going to get. Okay, so I got $2,200. So now I'm going to move down here, and for the income, I'm putting $2,830. For our expenses was $2,200. I'm going to move over this way for our virtual transactions, and we are going to be keeping $50 in the bank. Oh, I forgot something. Oh my gosh. Okay. So because we're getting we're going to be using two vehicles now, I am putting $50 into my gas tank, and that's only this week specifically because I'm saving up money for our vacation next weekend, and we have a 4-hour drive, and so I'm saving up gas money for that specifically. But for the remaining, like on a general week, by week basis, I'm going to be doing $10, and that's only because I'm going to collect all the money, and then by the time I need to fill up my tank, I'll have that cash already in my wallet. Because it's not going to be like, I'm not going to need to fill it every single week. So, or every single week. So that is just going to be for this week specifically. So instead of the 2,200, it's going to be 2,250. And so I fixed that, and then we are going to stick to our $50 for my husband, and that's going to stay in his checking account. And then one of the other things that changed was how much money we spend at Sam's Club. So Sam's Club is usually one of those things where we buy my youngest daughter's diapers, we buy meat for the whole month, and then we buy a little bit of snacks. And so we're going to be cutting back on how much meat we get and the amount of snacks that we get. And so now we're just going to be going back to the basics, and we're going to be getting a box of diapers, a pound, or not a pound, one thing of beef and one thing of chicken. And then if we are noticing that throughout the back end of the month that we are running out of meat, or we're running low on meat, and we're not going to be able to make it until our next Sam's Club run, then we'll just have to get meat at Aldi, and that's totally fine. So we're going to be spending $130, and we are going to be making our Sam's Club run this week. But that money also stays in the account because we use our Scan and Go. So adding these together, that is $180, and so I'll put that in our virtual for $180. And then going up here for debt, we are not putting anything in this week, and that's only because we are pretty close to being fully funded for our minimums. And I will also explain that, which I already explained in my video this morning, but for debt, because we're not doing our debt binder anymore, I'm going to be making sure that I have at least one challenge in my Saving Saturday, one challenge in my Sunday Fun Day, and one challenge in my $2 Tuesday that will always go to debt. And so once that is ever completed, then I'm going to be able to make an extra debt payment. But until we make those extra debt payments, we'll just be budgeting for our minimums like usual. And instead of snowballing, that money went towards our car payment. So nothing is going to be going towards debt this week. And then next week, I think I only have like maybe $5 to $7 that I need to fulfill mine. And then both of ours are completely fulfilled. So that's awesome. So now we're going to go down to our sinking funds, which is our binders. We are going to be putting our usual $40 into Saving Saturday. We're going to be doing $80 in Sunday Fun Day, which is, again, $20 less than what we used to do, but I think we're going to be perfectly fine with achieving goals still. $2 Tuesday is getting $20, and then back to school for my daughter is getting $30. We decided as a family that we are not going to touch or let our financial situation get in the way of our daughters. So that is why I did not change anything about back to school, because I also don't want to affect our future, because back to school savings of what I'm doing is something that inevitably is going to be a future expense, and I don't want to have to use that money for something else now just because she's not in school now, and then later on when she does start school in the fall, I'm screwed because I didn't save up for it. So me and my husband decided together that we're not touching her school savings. And then Christmas, we are going to be stuffing that this week, and it's going to be getting $60. We used to budget $100 every single month, but we knocked it down to $60, and that's only because we kind of reevaluated who we buy gifts for, and how much money we spend on each person, and we did not need the $100, so we knocked it down to a more realistic number for us, and that's $60 a month. And since we are going on vacation this coming for Memorial Weekend, we are putting $90 towards that, and that's because we are going to need some food for the 4 days that we're gone. And then also the last thing is going to be for our dog Luna. This is typically we would put $150 a month away for her, but sorry, that was my chair that squeaked. I had mentioned in the video this morning that we are usually pretty bougie when it comes to our dog. We always gave her the deluxe package. We always let her upgraded the shampoo and conditioner. We paid extra for all the bells and whistles. And that's just because we just wanted her to spoil her a little bit. And then we always significantly tipped our groomer. And while we love our groomer, we appreciate her, she is the sweetest woman, we can't afford to continue spoiling her if we can't afford, to continue our things here at home. So we're going to go back to tipping her a normal rate. And then we are going to be going back down to standard. My dog's fur and skin is not sensitive, so she does okay with their generic, just whatever they use without the upgrade. And so she's going to be perfectly fine with that. And so we knocked it down to $80 a month instead of the $150. So let's go ahead and add these together to see what we have. So that is $400, and I'm going to put that over here with sinking funds. And let's add this up and make sure that it is the $2,830. And it is perfect. I always get so worried whenever I do this because I'm like, oh, what if I did this wrong? Okay, so now we're going to do our bill breakdown. And the numbers look a little bit different here, and that's only because of that virtual transaction. So we are actually going to be physically pulling $2,610, and that $180 is going to stay in the bank. And so if you subtract $2,830 minus 180, you're going to get oh, I forgot to change that. Let me just double check real quick. Okay. All right, I just forgot to add on the gas money. Originally I had $10, and I forgot that I was putting an extra $40 for next week for the vacation. So we are going to be bringing $2,650 in cash, and this is how we broke it down. And so for groceries, we are going to be doing 100 and 2 20s for 140. Mortgage is $1,245, so we're going to do 12 100s. We're going to do we're going to do 2 20s and 1 5. We're going to do, so $70 for gas, we're going to do 150 and 120. $85 for phone and Wi-Fi, we're going to do a 50, a 20, a 10, and a 5. $175 for loan, we're going to do 100, 150, 120, and 1 5. $45 for subscriptions, we're going to do 2 20s and 1 5. $10 for water, we're gonna do a 10. Medical is $135, we're gonna do 1, 100, 120, 110, and 15. We're skipping our credit cards, and car note is getting $295, so we've got 2 100s, 150, 2 20s, and 15, so that's 2 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 95. Yes, okay, perfect. And then Saving Saturday is going to be getting 40 singles. And then Sunday Fun Day is going to be getting 4 10s, 4 5s, and 20 singles. $2 Tuesday is getting 20 singles, and school back to school is getting, for $30, is going to be getting 20, and oops, I put that in the wrong one. A 20 and a 10 for 30. And then my dog Luna is getting, for $80, is going to get 150, a 20, and a 10. And then Christmas is going to get 3 10s, 3 5s, and 15 singles. And then gas is going to be getting I believe I did 2 20s and a 10. And then vacation is going to be getting, how did I do this? I think I did 4 20s and 2 5s. Let's make sure. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90. Yes. Okay. So we've got, for 100s, we've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. For 50s, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 20s, we've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 and 4 is 20. And then 10s, we've got 1, 2, 3, 3 and 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then for 5s, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 4 is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And then for singles, we've got 40, 60, 80, 95. So let's go ahead and do the math and figure out if we are all set. So 95 singles. And then we've got 1,700 right here. 5 times 50 is 250. 20 times 20 is 400. 13 times 10 is 130. And then 15 times 5 is 75. So we are going to add all of this up and make sure it is 2,650. Perfect. All right. Well, I am going to give the bill breakdown to my husband. He is on his way home from work right now, and I just want to again thank you all so much for always being here, always showing up. And if you're new, welcome. And I'm just so happy that you decided to join me and watch this video today. If you're not already subscribed, I would love it if you joined this little budgeting community. But again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. It's Friday. It is beautiful. I hope it's beautiful out where you are. It's 85 degrees here in Michigan and absolutely sunny. So we're going to go spend the rest of the afternoon outside in the backyard and playing in some water and enjoying the sunshine. But if you love saving money without missing out on life, even if you have some figuring out to do like I did. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Stick around for more budget-friendly fun. Always remember, you are amazing, you are worthy, and you are more than enough, and I'll see you next time.